Hi guys, welcome back. So today we are back with the sketchbook ideas series, and today I'm going to be doing some drawings of some mushrooms. But basically the idea is that you pick something that's relatively simple to draw, and that's why I chose mushrooms, because they're usually of just kind of 2 or 3 shapes together. So grab some supplies. I've used also a limited colour palette of just different shades of pink, and I've gone on to Unsplash royalty-free images and found some references of some mushrooms to use. Now you can choose any subject, you don't have to do mushrooms, but I would just recommend doing something simple, because later when we go to paint them, it's just a really nice easy page to do and it looks really effective. And when you're using limited colours, you don't want too much detail. So that's basically what I'm doing, and I'm using some acrylic paint and some posca pens for the detail. So here I'm just sketching some mushrooms, and obviously I'm using reference here, and while I'm drawing I'm thinking about the shapes that make up the mushroom, the main shapes if you like. So that kind of roundish shape on the top, and then the stalks kind of also can be a bit roundish on the bottom, but it's more basically just like a half circle and a rectangle. That is it at its simplest. So I'm bearing in mind all these shapes and also the little details, because these are essentially the building blocks that we're going to use to create. And going in with some detail, and I'm starting with some really simple mushrooms and I'm building myself up to the more detailed mushrooms. But essentially it's just about thinking about these shapes. It's not really, you don't really want to get too detailed. So with whatever you're drawing, you can use this concept of thinking about the shapes. And I'm using a reference here, but when I go on to do the final page, I actually more use my own sketches as a reference. So I'm kind of using reference at the start, but then coming away from that and slowly making the drawings more and more my own. But there's nothing wrong with using a reference, especially with these royalty-free images. It really does give a helping hand when you're just starting out. Sometimes you look at that blank page and you think, I don't know what to do, and just getting a reference gives you a little bit of a starting point. So really don't feel bad using your references. I use references all the time, and I then develop my sketches further and further, so eventually they don't look so much like the reference images. Plus, exercises like this in your sketchbook aren't going to be finished pieces of work. So, use reference as much as you like, because it really will teach you things. So here I'm just swatching out my supplies. I want to see how they look together, just make sure that I like the look of them together. And I'm also going to go in and paint some of these sketches just to see how the colours work next to each other. I do find that very bright pink in the middle there is just too bright in the end. I don't like the way it looks in combination with the other colours. I do use it for a little bit of background detail on the white page later, but I didn't like the way it looked next to the other colours. It looks fine on its own, but next to the other pinks it just didn't seem right. So it's a really good exercise to just quickly swatch out and have a quick go with your colours together, just to make sure they're working nicely, because you don't want to wreck your whole drawing with the colours not being right. So yeah, here you can see I've gone in with the detail. I just didn't like it. I don't think it's that bad, but I just didn't quite like it, so I didn't then use it on my final drawing. So here we are, just sketching out very simple shapes. You don't even have to sketch these if you're quite confident in going in with the paint straight away. You can just go in with the paint. I like to have just a little guideline for my painting. And I do add a few little details, but these do eventually get covered up anyway, so you don't really, it just gives you an idea of what you want to do with your whatever you're drawing. So obviously with me it's mushrooms, and I know I want some spots on some of them, so that's more just to remind me that, oh, I want to add spots to these later, or lines or whatever. And I'm doing some doodling in the background because I just think this fills the blank page. Again, you don't have to sketch this out, you could just go in with your paint later and do it, or your posca pen. And then we're adding the paint, so I'm going in with the block colours first. I'm using a light pink and then a slightly darker pink to do the main colours, and I do end up mixing a even lighter pink as well, because I just felt I needed a third shade to add to this, because really we have 3 shapes there. So we have that middle mushroom there is just 2 simple shapes, but in some of the others I do have like a shadow area bit underneath the cap of the mushroom, so it was nice to have a combination of 3 different colours as block colours, and then also the detail colours, which are slightly different pinks as well. And I don't do all my detail with a Posca pen. I do go in with a smaller brush and add some detail as well, which you will see in a bit. But that's basically it, guys. You're basically just creating something simple, and it's good to just kind of dumb things down a bit sometimes, because we get so caught up in making some amazing piece of art. Sometimes it's just a matter of making some really cute art and just simplifying everything. And personally, I prefer a simple kind of cutesy look, so this is really great for practicing my style and art. And you learn stuff as well just by looking at the shapes and things like that. So it's a really good exercise, but it also looks really cute, and I hope you give this a try out. I will leave you with some music now, and you can watch the rest in peace. Okay, like and subscribe, guys, if you like this content. I will see you very soon. Bye.